श्रुति स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। रुक्मिणी जी, so let's chant from shloka number 45.
Okay.
All of us. त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदाः
त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदाः
निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन
निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन
निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः
निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः
निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्
निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्
यावानर्थ उदपाने
यावानर्थ उदपाने
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
तावान् go ahead
सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु
ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः
ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा फलेषु कदाचन
मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः
मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः
मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि
Ma te sangostva karmani.
Yeah. So, verse number 47, Karmanyevadhikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phalaheturbuhu, ma te sangostva karmani. So, an important shloka in this chapter, which begins to unfold the attitude of karma yoga with certain facts. So that idea of karma yoga is important, which was, even though a chapter is dedicated to that, chapter 3, still Krishna chose to unfold it right away. So we saw the examples of practical people who seem to be very objective. And then we said we have to go one more step. And we said Karma Yoga requires the recognition of Ishvara, Bhagavan. And so we spent some time talking about this Ishvara that we all know of, really speaking. But our understanding has to improve. So we saw last time, we reviewed the analysis of everything in this world. We know that as mithya, because there is nothing in this world I know which does not depend on anything else. Simple pot onwards, everything is depending on something else for its existence. This is very clear to me. Even a cell phone, I call cell phone as one object, but really speaking, it's not one object, it's many, many objects. Therefore, this idea of object itself is being questioned. And that's how we arrived at our understanding of Satyam. If everything depends on something else, on its existence, on their existence, then is there something that exists by itself? Can there be something that exists by itself? The answer is yes. Yes, there is something. That is what provides existence for everything else. And I can even appreciate who that is, that self-existent thing, if I can say, entity. That self-existent entity is Atma. Because I exist. That I exist cannot be negated by anybody. So Swamiji gives an example of the series of talks he was giving in Berkeley years ago, decades ago. And in this university. And so many people were there. And he ended one talk by saying, tomorrow we are going to define truth. We're going to define truth. And all these big professors are sitting there. And so one person got to, really liked his talks. And he was wondering, what is this truth? Truth is something you can't define. That is his thinking. And Swamiji said, we're going to define truth. So he approached Swamiji after the talk. And he asked, Swamiji, I can't wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is too long away. 24 hours away, I can't wait. And you tell me now. And you don't have to tell publicly, just tell me. And Swamiji said, you come tomorrow. Come tomorrow, don't worry. We will sleep well and come tomorrow, okay? And one day you're not going to lose much. So then Swamiji defines the word. Truth is that which cannot be negated. This is the word. This is the definition he gave. That which cannot be negated is truth. Means that which is not subject to time, that which is not subject to space. You can't negate truth. You try to negate truth, then the negator is the truth. The one who keeps on trying to negate the truth is the truth, is Satyam. And so finally he understood that. And so that was the story that comes to me. So in this shloka, so we are talking about karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Why I am not the author of the results? Then if I am not, now I understand I am not, because I recognize I am capable of doing things, but I don't control. I do not call all the shots. And so where are the results coming from? It is not enough to say, "Arey, it's all nature, yaar, chhod do." Somehow these things trees are going somehow. Why are you worried about all these things? How does the tree grow? Is that a type of question you ask? There's so many problems to work on. And you are talking about who is this, who is that. No, our rishis didn't give up with those kinds of things. He said, we have to know what is what. That's the beauty of this human mind. And so, who authored them? Who is the author of the results of this action? So, definitely not our father or mother. Definitely not our grandfather, grandmother. That much we know. You know, in young days, we used to, when we talk, when we were kids, and Tera Baap, somebody will say Tera Baap. And then Tera Baap means a big thing. It becomes it flares up. The whole thing flares up. Hey, tu kon hai re? Mera baap ko bola raha hai tu? Like this argument will start. And some bully will be there. And he will come and this goes on and on. So this baap and ma and all, we should not invoke. So mera baap nahi, tera baap nahi. So that much we know. So this is the beginning of Karma Yoga. This thinking of who is the author of these outcomes, whatever happens in this world, how it happens. And so we saw that last time, that we talked about these laws, everything that is operating, this whole operating system is going on, mega operating system, mega operating system. They're all composed of so many laws that we know and laws that we do not know also. Everything combined, those laws we saw last time, that Ishvara cannot create anything out of something other than Ishvara. Not possible. Ishvara means creator. If you say Ishvara is creator, then the creator cannot go around, asking for material to create this world. Not possible. It is like rich country America. Where is the money? You have to beg. Go to China and beg. Rich country begs from other countries. We don't know all these things. We don't hear, but this is what happens in the background. And go with a begging bowl. Not like that. Ishvara has to create from oneself, from himself, herself. Therefore, we get this idea that whatever is created cannot be separate from Ishvara. Very important. Very important. Just sets apart Sanatana Dharma from every other so-called religion. This world is Ishvara. So popular question will be there. If Ishvara is Sarvajna, if Ishvara is all-knowing, Bhagavan to Sarvajna hai, Sarva Shaktiman hai. So, and why did he create suffering in this world? Who wants to see suffering, people dying, young age children dying off with some diseases and leukemia and all that? And you see walk around and people with begging bowls all over. Why? What kind of a sadist? He must be a sadist. I think so. Because only a sadist will play these kinds of games. And it's a mega sadist. He's just sitting there and watching all these things, and he doesn't do anything about it. On top of that, he sends corona also to see people suffering. Countries all over the world, he does this. This question is a popular question. Why does he do this? That question can be answered only by saying the creation is not separate from the creator. We have to bring that in. If you don't bring it in, this question can never be answered. No Christianity, no Islam can answer this question. They will immediately put a blame on you. Who are you to question God? This question comes. Fear will be invoked, and then they will stop you. And so God has his own ways. Who are you to question God? That is enough argument for somebody, many people. So we can't accept that. We have to ask the person who is asking questions. How can you ask him not to ask questions? Not possible. So creation not separate from creator. And that is why we have to let go of these words creation and creator, because creator and creation means creator is sitting there and creation is right here, and I am part of the creation. So that idea, creator separate from creation, this is the creation we all know of. Every child from childhood onwards, we know this is the idea of creation. So we have to let go of this idea. And so Srishtikarta, Ishvara, Bhagavan. That's why even to use the word God, Swamiji never used the word God that much. Because we are talking about realities here, we are trying to, the whole paradigm is shifting now. So, having said that, then we say the entire creation happened because of Sankalpa, Satya Sankalpa, and the creator is very much in front of me. Through this entire world, I can see the creator. Then what about me? Well, I am also part of the creation. And then we invoke karma also. So whatever I do, whoever I am, is a result of my past actions. And so whatever I experience in this world today, it's also a result of my current actions as well as past actions. Look at that. Current actions. Karmaniyeva adhikara hatte. So those actions which I did, which I have the authority over, which I am the author of, plus all the past karma. All those things mixed together produce whatever happens, produces the results. Therefore, Ishvara cannot be blamed for what happens to me. I cannot blame Ishvara. Very important. Because when things don't go well, then, we cannot accept it so easily. And so, very important to recognize that. And so, so this idea of who, God created this suffering and he is this, he is that, this kind of discussion really doesn't, you won't find the discussion in our culture, really speaking, because we accept everything as prasada. This is how things are. And the responsibility comes on the jiva. Look at that. Responsibility falls on oneself. These religions have, they make a statement. They say Hinduism, India is a backward country because of karma. Look at that. These fellows, dangerous people. You will find these things. All big Pope onwards, they say all this. India is backward because of karma. Because of the idea, because of Hinduism, which talks about karma. This is their idea. We say we are able to accept things because of karma. We can go insane anytime, and we don't go insane because of karma. This is our idea. Karma does not make me fatalistic. Karma makes me responsible. Please understand these things. Karma doesn't make me fatalistic. Karma makes me responsible. Why? Because I am the author of my karma. My karma it is. My bank account it is. Who created my bank account? I created it. So this is very important. And so why should all this understanding be necessary? It's needed because of what Bhagavad Gita calls as Ragadvesha. Ragadvesha. Ragadvesha psychology. Because my life is governed by my likes and dislikes. I do things in order to get what I like. I do things in order to let go, in order to give up what I don't like. And I do things in order to protect what I like and what I have. And I do things in order to keep what I don't like away. This is my entire life. Every minute of the day, if you analyze, this is where our pursuit falls in. We mentioned it last time. Yogakshema. Yogakshema. Niryogakshema Atmavan. Right? Few shlokas ago. 2 shlokas ago. So this yoga and shema consumes me. And this raga and dvesha consume me. So we have to spend some time understanding this raga dveshas. And in other words, we are trying to say it appears as though if I'm driven by my raga dveshas, then I'm no different than a machine, constantly following my likes and dislikes. So we have to spend some time understanding this. So last time we said yoga and kshema. Yoga is apraptasya praptihi, means accomplishment of what is not accomplished. Kshema is praptasya rakshanam, protection of what I have. And we have to add other things also to that. And accomplishing what I want to accomplish and protecting what I have, protecting what I got from my hard effort, and giving up what I don't want and keeping that away. All these things are part of the what is called Yogakshema. So buying a car, buying a vehicle, it's a yoga, and then keeping that vehicle in proper order. It's huge process. Huge process. So I remember when I used to have a car. Now I don't have a car. But this idea, we're so busy studying all these things and doing so many wonderful things, and then suddenly it's time to change the oil. Car ka maintenance, and then you have to think, oh, when should I go? What? Morning, evening, weekend, weekday, all these ideas just to take the car to the mechanic, and how much time it's going to take. This, that, all these things happen. So maintenance is important. You can postpone it by a week. Okay, postponed. You can postpone it by another week. That also postponed. Then, okay, I postponed 6 weeks. Will it make 7 weeks, 8 weeks? Will it make a difference? No. And they have all these rules. Once in 3 months, you have to change oil. Like that, they say. Then I did some research because I didn't believe this. I don't believe these people just so easily. So I did some research and I looked up these consumer reports. And the consumer reports have everything, anything you want, and amazing. And so there I looked up this idea of changing the oil every 3 months. And these fellows analyze the automobiles, various cars, trucks, this, that, and they looked up people's driving habits. And then a car in a small city, a car in a big city like New York, the New York cab driver, the New York cab, they picked up the New York cab. Means that's the roughest drive, and accelerating the car and punching on the brakes periodically. This is the way they, because random sample, and then they came to a conclusion. Even the New York cab does not need oil change in once in 6 months also. This is how they said. And I said, I felt a little happy. All this research, some outcome has to be there for all your effort. So then I said, okay, this 3 month is all bunkum. And so we can stretch it to 4, 5, even 6. Okay. Just keep listening to your car. Some sounds are coming, big sounds when you accelerate. Then you better go to the mechanic. Don't wait for 6 months. Like that, I thought. So therefore, this maintenance is a constant problem. You have to maintain the house, and so every day effort is there. And so yoga kshema, our life is just consumed by yoga and kshema, and no time to think about realities. That is why we need to spend some time. And raga dveshas, okay, I have my own likes and dislikes. And why do you like brown? There is a blue color in the satsang we were talking. Somebody said blue is good, it doesn't hurt the eyes. Yeah, good, that's why it's good. But some people like to wear blue shirts, some people like to wear a red shirt. Why do you like blue? Why do you like red? I don't know. Finally, you have to say, I don't know. I like blue because I used to like blue. That's not an answer anyway. And so these likes and dislikes, they don't have an answer. Why don't you like Mysore Pak when the whole world likes Mysore Pak? Then he says, how do you know the whole world likes Mysore Pak? Huh? We don't know. All these are conclusions they have made. And you find people, they don't like sweets at all. And then you get surprised. You don't like sweets? No. So this likes and dislikes are a problem. And then newly married couple, and they want to buy a car because both of them are earning, and car is no big deal. And so they want to buy a car. And she says, I like blue. And he says, no, I like red. Same car. They, at least finally they've decided what car to buy. That itself is a very, very big thing. A huge milestone it is to decide, okay, we must buy this car. Okay, in India, I need to figure out all these models. Those days, I used to remember all the models. So I buy a Honda City. I don't know if they're still running or not, but in India, they say Honda City. Otherwise, Honda, some Accord. Okay. This fight is now there between blue and red. They can't decide because no, honey, red. We've always bought a lot of red things. We've got red teapots and this and that. We should go with red. She says, no, I hate red cars. That's it, over. She puts a full stop on that. And this guy doesn't know what to do. And he can't give up either. So they don't buy the car. They go home and the whole day is gone. People are upset and they don't talk to each other. And I hear stories like even marriages are broken because of these kinds of arguments. What to do? Very sad. So one has to let go. Simple raga, look at that. One like for one color. Look at how it ruins our day, how it ruins our relationship. That is why it's important to think about these things. And so, not only do I have preferences, my devatas also have preferences. My Bhagavan, my gods have preferences. Like what? Vinayaka Chaturthi is going to come shortly. People are going to make what? They're not going to make vada and sambar. They're going to make what? It's called modak. Modak. We've been waiting for modak. And so I want modak, but then I blame it on Ganesha. I say Ganesha likes modak. And so I make nice modaks and then we offer it to Ganesha. Why Ganesha? Because he likes modak. Ganesha can eat anything. But I have Ganesha likes modak and Shiva likes bilwa and Hanuman likes butter. Krishna likes butter, of course. No doubt about that. Who can even question that? Krishna likes butter. So you keep on giving him butter. And so like this, we have even Bhagavan has likes and dislikes. And so raga dvesha everywhere. I cannot, so that's because, why? Because as a human being, I cannot deal with somebody who doesn't have likes and dislikes. So Bhagavan also must have something, must like one particular dress, Pitambar, Pitambar. So then only I can deal with this fellow. So simply sitting, meditating under in the Himalayas with some basmam on the head. That, okay, some of us can handle, but you have to do some abhisheka, you have to do something, dress him up and put some malas, and here malas in the wrist also, and then in the arm here also put mala, and Shiva looks like this, then I can deal with Shiva. Then I will say, after that, hey, Namah Shivaya. So this is our likes and dislikes are like that. And so now we need to, having understood that this raga dvesha, sometimes called kama, ichha, ichha in Sanskrit also, ichha is there. Ichha means like. Often I have seen in the Shastram, ichha is referred to this ability to desire. We are not blaming desires. We will see slowly. We are saying don't become a victim of your desires. That's all we are saying. Okay, we are not saying desires are bad. No, you will not hear that in this class. Okay, because ichha is a shakti. Okay, ichha shakti. What does it say in Lalita Sahasranam? Ichha shakti, jnana shakti, kriya shakti, swarupini. Swarupini. She is present in me in the form of ichha shakti. So therefore, we are not going to blame ichha for anything. Ichha, desire is a cause for all problems. And so what do? You give up desire. You must ichha ko chhod do. Ichha ko tyag karo. This kinds of stuff is all funny ideas. We are not going there. So here Swamiji makes a point. Yes, there are certain desires which are going to be what are called binding. And there are other desires which are going to be non-binding. Okay, we need to understand this a little bit. So dividing the whole world of desires, my world of desires, into two, non-binding and binding. What is a non-binding desire? A desire which, whether it gets fulfilled or doesn't get fulfilled, I am okay. I am unaffected. That is called a non-binding desire. For example, what? For example, so I was working and suddenly I felt like I'll go outside for a walk. And I went for a walk and then it seems to be drizzling. And so I came back home because it's going to rain now, So I came back. So desire for a walk is there. And normally I go for long walks, but today it rained. That rain, it can spoil my mood, or I can say, no, this is okay. I can walk another time in the evening or tomorrow. It's okay. So if I can say it's okay, then that desire is a non-binding desire. Non-biting desire. You can even use the word biting. That desire does not have the capacity to bite me. Every other desire is what is called a binding desire. Binding desire. The Bhagavad Gita does not talk about non-binding desires. Why? Because no, non-binding desires have no impact on me. I can let go of them. And whether they get fulfilled or not, doesn't matter to me. But binding desire is the one that Krishna always refers to when he talks about raga dvesha. Because that is what causes all the problems in my life. Or at least my response to those desires is what causes all problems in life. Okay. So therefore, these non-binding desires, we can say preferences also. Preferences. So I prefer to do this way, I prefer to do it, prefer to do that. When we say prefer, we mean this is what I like to do, or this is how I like to do, this is what I want. But it's okay. I can always adapt. That is called a preference. So even Sri Krishna had ragadveshas, likes. Like what? He always, Swamiji gives this example. He always comes with a flute. Wherever he goes, he takes his flute. So he likes to play the flute. Why doesn't he play guitar? And I think he's always smiling. I think he should do this. He should play guitar. I think that would have been nice. Right? Why not? No, he doesn't pick up the guitar for some reason. I think flute must have become, so Mohana Murali. So Murali means immediately you think of Krishna. So he picks up the flute. And so this is his desire. So desires are there. Every person is going to have desires. And so we are talking about binding desires. We have to deal with binding desires, not to deal with binding desires. This is the critical part of understanding our life. Okay. So we are now beginning to recognize Ishvara as a karma phala data. Why karma phala data? Data means giver in Sanskrit. Phalam is result or fruit, and karma, result of karma. So the giver of the result of karma is called karma phala data. So it's a samasa in Sanskrit, technical word called samasa. Karmanaha phalam, karma phalasya data. So like that, Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa, Sanskrit students. So when I recognize Ishvara as karma phaladata, then I am looking at Ishvara as a bhakta. Then I become a bhakta. It's a religious attitude. I become a bhakta because I see Ishvara and I offer to Ishvara. I get results from Ishvara. Whatever I do, I see Ishvara. It's a purely devotee of attitude of a devotee. Bhakta. And that bhakti grows. The more I see, the bhakti grows. In satsang, there was a question. What about bhakti? Yeah, bhakti grows. More I know, bhakti grows. The more I do, bhakti grows. And to a point, where does it end? Bhakti will never end. Until jnanam is gained. When jnanam is there, then I am also included in that. I am included in what? I am included in the vision of Ishvara. In bhakti, I am not included. Correct? Bhakti, I am not yet included. In the whole, when I say Ishvara is the whole, I somehow exclude myself. When I exclude myself, I am a bhakta. When I do not exclude myself, also I am a bhakta, but Krishna will say, Jnani Bhakta. Like that he will talk about. So, this attitude of a bhakta, a devotee, is what will result from this understanding. Okay. And so when I see Ishvara everywhere, Ishvara is at work, constantly at work, no doubt. Because if I say I am busy, somebody calls me and say, okay, I am busy right now, can I call you back? If I can say that, Ishvara, what will Ishvara have to say? We call Vishnu, 1-800 Vishnu. Okay. So, and then you call Vishnu up and he says, Jaikumar, I'm a little busy right now. Today is especially busy. The corona season and all that I'm having to deal with. I didn't realize the problems that we get into. So I'm a bit busy right now. Can we talk later? So he can say that. And so Ishvara at work. So what can be his email address? Ishvara@work.com. I think that's his right email address. Always at work. Ishwar@calm.com. Arey wah. We got an email address for Bhagavan. So constantly at work. That at work Ishvara produces the results. Because that's how it is. The entire laws are Ishvara. And the creation also is not separate from Ishvara. Therefore, what I get has to be the result of Ishvara only. Therefore, I don't need to blame myself for what happens. I am responsible for what I do. Remember that. I don't need to blame myself. Doesn't mean I can do whatever I want. Okay. Karmaniyeva adhikara hatte. That karma, that action belongs to you. Krishna doesn't say Karmani eva adhikara me. He doesn't say that. Te, he says. Te means you. You. I'm going to play the flute, but you are responsible for everything else. Okay, that's what he's saying. And so this idea of prasada comes up now. Prasada. Whatever comes from Ishvara is prasada. So you have guests at home. Somebody has come, and you are giving them something to eat, drink. This is common. In any culture, it's common, I suppose. And so you give them. And this person is dieting. Therefore, he's not going. You made some nice gulab jamun and all that, and you gave him. And all the entire family, everybody is taking. But he says, no thanks. No thanks. I will have the other stuff. All namkeen, all these things are there. I'll have that. Little bit of that I'll have. Okay. Then later on you come and offer him a laddu. And he tells you, what? I just told you I'm dieting. I thank you very much. And doesn't matter. You can give the laddus to others, he says. Then you tell him, this is a prasada from the temple. From the temple. Now what will he do? I'm talking about Indians only, Indian families. Okay. What will he do? Will he say no? Will he say no? No, he can't say no. No Indian will say no to that. He will say, oh, immediately the whole demeanor will change. Whole attitude changes. Oh, I'm sorry. And then hands will go together like this. Which Indian will not do this? When he hears the word prasad, this whole thing changes. And okay, maybe a small piece. You give a small piece. Yeah, it's a lot of calories. Just because it is prasada doesn't mean its calorie value will reduce. Calorie value remains the same. Okay? Because sugar also is Ishvara. Ishvara comes as high calorie and low calorie both. Okay? And so the laddu doesn't become low calorie food. And so he takes that and the attitude with which he accepts. So the question here is, what converts this laddu into prasada? What converts the laddu into prasada? The laddu, the weight of the laddu did not change. The color of the laddu did not change. The smell did not change. Nothing changed about this laddu. And now my attitude to this laddu is different. How? Now I was saying, just 1 minute ago, I was saying no. Now I'm saying yes. No became yes in just 1 second. Just by uttering one word. This is the change of attitude. This is the change of attitude that happens when I recognize anything as prasad. This is why our culture, anybody growing up in this culture itself is a huge blessing. We say, why? Because of this. Because when we grow up in this culture, if I step on a piece of paper, immediately I will go and touch the paper and touch my eyes. This is everywhere in all over India. This you can see. This is what the culture gives us. And you have to go to America or other countries to see what happens. And there are families, Indian families, where the children may not know this. And the children think this is a funny behavior. What is it, Dad? What are you doing? Dad, what? What did you do just now? What did you do? What happened? I stepped on a piece of paper, therefore I did this. What? I don't understand. Dad, you're crazy. Mom, Dad is crazy. He's saying something I don't understand. Mom says, no, Dad is not crazy. You are crazy. and this child has had it. I don't know. I can't deal with my parents anymore. Then only you realized, oh my God comes. And so look at how much our culture gives. And imagine teaching those children. How much can you even teach this? Did somebody teach us in India what prasada is? Did somebody give a lecture? No, we have to teach all these children all these things. We have big Sunday classes and all that. And how much effort is there? How do you teach somebody about this? Not easy. That is why karma bhumi. That is why these things are important. And so question is, what converts this laddu into prasada? And so that idea of prasada, remember, that is why grace, the word grace also is inadequate to describe prasada. Even though sometimes we say grace. Tangible, grace often refers to tangible outcomes. Prasada includes the intangible also. Intangible, punyam, papam, so much is involved in prasada. And it's a result of my past actions. Ishvara, so it's coming from Ishvara. So much is involved, which is not there in the word grace. Because that idea is not there in the Western culture. The idea of thanking Ishvara is there. I'm not saying it is not there. That is all there. Thanking God for whatever you have. It's all there, no doubt. But we are talking about Sarva Vyapi Ishvara, therefore Karma Phala Data. That idea is not there. And so in our tradition, a child is born. Child is born, we say Ishvara Prasada. Avan kuduthan, kadavul kudutha kulandai. So God gave this child, therefore it's a prasada. Therefore the child itself is named Prasad. Prasad. Common name in India. North, I don't know. North bhi Prasad hote hain, shayad. Prasad has to be there. Every Indian language has to have the Porshad. Bengalis will say Porshad. Correct? Are there any Bengalis here? I don't know. We need to check. I don't remember right now off the bat. Okay. Anil Kumar is shaking his head. So we will check him out later. Okay. Porshad bolte hain. So, Porshad, look at that. Wherever you go, whichever part you go. Yesterday I was listening to somebody from Ladakh. One MP from Ladakh. Young man. Brilliant speech. And you ask him about Prasad. He will say, Kya Prasad? Yeah. Ishwar kahan hai? Usse pucho. And Ishwar kahan hai? He will give back the answer. Ishwar kahan nahi hai? That's what he will say. And so this is our Indian culture. This is what our India gives us. And it gives us all this so that we can take it forward. And then Vedanta becomes very appealing. It becomes natural to us. So, therefore, prasada is something that I receive and not cast away disrespectfully, not thrown away, not looked down upon. Remember, prasada is something. You think of prasada, you think of any time you go to the temple and the archaka, the pujari gives you something in hand, immediately you go like this. Entire India, this must be the culture. It cannot be different. Immediately like this, or pour it on your head, whatever. You don't directly put it in your mouth. You have to do this and then only put it in your mouth. That's the attitude. So the child is a prasada. Everything is a prasad. So now, when things happen which are to my liking, remember 4 types of results. One type of result is I get what I want. Another type of result is I get things better than what I want. Right? I get what I want. Prasada. I got a lot more than what I want. प्रसाद, ये तो प्रसाद ही है, तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, ये तो प्रसाद ही है, लेकिन still it's प्रसाद, and I get less than what I want, so it's प्रसाद यार, क्या करेंगे? I get opposite of what I want, then what do? It's prasad only, you know. It's prasad. What to do? That is how it is. So it's all prasad all the way. Therefore, I cannot have anything to complain about. I may complain about him or her or them or this. I constantly complain about our Janta, the two Tamil Nadu state, and it's competing. Tamil Nadu state always competes with some other states to be the top when it comes to corruption. And so I tell people, you don't come to Tamil Nadu. If you have a choice to go to Gujarat or someplace, go and enjoy. And you will do well, the state will do well, and do that. Don't come here. I complain. But let the complain. What we are saying is, prasada. It is also Tamil Nadu. That I must live in Tamil Nadu is also a prasada. It's all a result of our own past and everybody's collective karma, you know, not just individual karma, collective karma. But karmani eva adhikara, I keep that in mind. Therefore, I must do what I have to do. So if I don't like this government, I must do something about it. What are you doing? So we have to ask that question. Therefore, complaining is okay, but the complaining goes away immediately. You may complain, all right, but the complaint quickly goes away because the attitude of prasada takes over and the attitude of karmani eva adhikaraha takes over. Therefore, the complaint won't remain for long. Okay. So therefore, no such thing as failure. And as somebody said here, Maheshji said, Bill Gates, our friend, said that success is a lousy teacher. Success is a lousy teacher. Well, that doesn't mean I don't want to be successful. Okay. We're not saying don't desire success. No, we don't say that. You desire success, you have no choice but to desire success. But if I can desire success with the attitude that there can be no failure, my God, what kind of life that can be? You just think about it. Therefore, so what Krishna is saying here is, hey Arjuna, you are a karma hetu. You are not a karma phala hetu. Karmani eva adhikarahate means you are a karma hetu. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu. Ma karma phala hetuhu bhuhu. May you not be the author of the results of your actions. You are not the author because you are not the author. There are too many factors involved, and you better recognize Ishvara here. That factor is nothing but Ishvara. When we say too many factors, we mean Ishvara at work. And Ishvara is at work, so you let go. When you don't decide the outcomes, you let go. But you do plan it out and you do the right things. Therefore, Mate Sangostva Karmani, the last quarter of the shloka. Mate Sangostva Karmani. Let's split these words. Ma te asangaha astu karmani or akarmani. Akarmani, okay. First word in the shloka is karmani. The last word in the shloka is what? Akarmani. First word is in action, you have authority, you have authorship. Last word, akarmani. In inaction, he is using the word inaction here. Akarmani, what about inaction? Mate asangaha astu. Asangaha, this sense of detachment, let it not be there. Let you not be disinclined towards action, not be inclined. Let you not be inclined towards inaction. Why? Because if I don't control things, then I can say, then why should I do things? Ishvara, let Bhagavan do everything. I can't decide what happens. Yeah, he says that cannot be the attitude, because my fear of outcomes is what stops me from doing things, right? People want to do a lot of things, but the fear of outcome is there, whether it will work or not. This is a big, it's a realistic, pragmatic thing, whether this will work out or not. So whether it will work out or not is what stops me. Let that fear not be there. That is what Krishna is saying here. Mate asangaha astu. Let the fear not stop you. Because why you should fear? When you are doing the right thing, you are planning things out, you have done everything right. So let things unfold as they should. And you are always welcome to change course, do it differently later. Think of all these scientists, and you can always do things differently if you have to. Mate asangostu akarmani. Don't be attached to inaction. Don't be attached to inaction. So the fellow who says, no, I don't, I don't, suppose you say, somebody says, no, I don't think. Whatever I do doesn't work out. Therefore, I won't do. What do you do? Do you have headaches? Yes, I do have headaches. What do you do when you have a headache? Take an aspirin. Really? Who gave you the headache? Okay, Ishvara gave the headache. All right. Then why Ishvara will take away the headache? Why don't you just say everything is Ishvara, just keep quiet? Why when you have a headache, you act? Why don't you have this very wonderful attitude? Everything is Ishvara, and let him do things, let him give me things. I will simply sit quietly. Why don't you say it every time? No, these fellows won't say everything every time. When it comes to me, I take care of myself. And only when it comes to other things, I say Ishwar, Ishwar, Ishwar. This idea is there. This idea is there. You can see these things in conversations. No, Krishna says that's not acceptable. Mate asangaha astu akarmani. Let there be a love for action. Let there be a love for action. Yeah. And let the results be received as prasada. Correct? Then look at that life. Then life changes. Life dramatically changes. You're not afraid of what people will say and this and that. These people also, we are always worried about what other people say. That's a tough one. You have to get out of that. We have to get out of that. So we meditate. So sometimes we meditate on this also. We say, if what others say is important to me, nothing wrong. You have to pay attention to what others say, no doubt. But if what others say is what governs my life, then I have to sit quietly and say, this has to change. I can't live a life based on approval from him and her and everybody in this world. Approval from others I cannot lead my life like that. So then dhyanam. And then say, I shall give up my desire for approval for everything. Where you have to seek approval, you seek approval. Okay, but I'm talking in general. I let go of my need to seek approval. I let go of my need to seek approval. I let go of my need to seek approval. So very important, all these things. So that is Krishna's message in this shloka. So let's go back to the shloka and conclude that. So translating this, your choice is an action only. Karmani eva adhikaraha te. So te means your. Karmani, in your action. Eva means only. That's a way to translate it. Therefore, your choice is an action only. Comma, never in the results thereof. Never in the results thereof. Ma paleshu kadachana. Then, full stop. Do not think you are the author of the results of action. Do not think you are the author of the results of action. Ma karma phalahetuhu bhuhu. Ma karma phalahetuhu bhuhu. Full stop. Let your attachment not be to inaction. Mate sangaha astu akarmani. Akarmani, inaction. Look at that. Let your attachment not be to inaction. And the next sloka, Krishna will introduce this idea of samatvam, which we already borrowed last couple of classes ago. We borrowed that word samatvam, which he is going to introduce in the next shloka, number 48. We'll continue that in the next class. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।